I have one final question for Jennifer. I'm Hilary, by the way.
Oh, I'm Jennifer. I guess you figured that out, though.
No, Jennifer's over there somewhere,
yes,
right? Yeah.
I'm throwing my voice.
I wanted to know, what's it like when you have written something and you hear it for the first time in rehearsal and then hear it for the first time in concert? Do those different stages change your impression of the piece?
Yes.
Is it gratifying? Is it strange? What's it like?
You know what? The first time I hear it in rehearsal is scary. There's a balancing act that goes on in a composer's head because you have to figure out the orchestra's learning the work.
Right.
So I have to figure out what are issues because of the way I wrote it and what are issues because they're learning the work. So you have to kind of stay calm and allow the orchestra to learn it. They also tend to play louder the first rehearsal and a half, and then they realize there are dynamics in there and they start bringing it down. So it's scary, and you have to make a lot of really fast judgments. They're like, okay, maybe this is not a good idea. So I make mental notes that if they go through it a second or third time and they're still having problems, I need to adjust it.
Right.
So it's totally different the first time through. When you hear it at the performance, though, I have to say it's like magic.
Is it different from the rehearsal, from your impression of the rehearsal?
Always. It's always different. And even as it progresses from performance to performance, you can feel the orchestra getting comfortable. They do Beethoven, they know it. They've done it a lot of times. They do Higdon, they don't know it. So it's amazing to watch the piece kind of, it transforms. It actually, and there is a huge leap between first rehearsal and the first performance. And then you can see it kind of progressing along the way.
When you're writing, are you hearing something similar to the final result in your head?
It is. I always think of it as the ideal orchestra and the ideal hall, and the halls really change. I've never realized how different some halls will emphasize the low part of an orchestra, and some will emphasize the high. And so I'm always having to kind of trust that the conductor will adjust. So I often have tempi that are fast because I've got some sort of ideal hall in my head. And you get into a place where there's a lot of reverberation, you just can't go at that speed. So it's imagination and it's faith.
Yeah.
And it's hope, you know, all those goofy things that you hear in kind of a Olympic moment. So. But it's fun, though.
Well,
I enjoy it.
You've had a lot of commissions lately and a lot of performances.
Yeah.
And have you changed your writing style as you've seen how things tend to sound in performance from what you imagined?
Yeah, you know what? I actually will change the way I think about instruments and the way I use them in an orchestra because someone will tell me something in the orchestra. You know, this works a little better in this range, and so sometimes I'll go back and adjust, but I will incorporate it in the new piece.
It's kind of like coaching in a way.
Exactly.
From the individual players.
And I figure composers spend their life learning about the combinations of instruments. How does this work?
So
How does
do we.
this work? Yeah, it's true. It's exactly the same sort of thing, but that's what I love about it.
Cool.
It's pretty cool.
Well, thank you.
Thank you.